right, guys. Well, let's talk about lures. So I'm going to do a little review on a lure that I've had a lot of success with. I kind of got the first one towards the end of my season. Eric kind of sent it over to me to mess around with, and kind of, in a way, almost prototype style. And basically, the first day I ran it, we had a double, and one of the fish ate it. And then every single day that I ran it after there, we had a bite on it. And I think the fourth fish on it was really healthy, like 550. And it just, every time it was out in the water, it was just getting piled on. It was definitely a productive bait. Then I got a little bit different colored one, like a green kind of head one with sort of like a jelly bean, sort of fruit salad colored setup here, skirt. And I brought this one down to Cabo with me when I fished the Bisbees. And this thing was the bait that was getting piled on. We caught our Blue Marlin on this. Had actually a pretty decent blue pile on it. Had a bunch of stripies all over it. Ran really well also. And then, a couple of the days it got kind of rough where we were fishing, and this one really hung in there. So as you can see, this bait's a pretty, flat head, little bit of tapered coming down it, and not a super hard bait to run by any means. Actually, a really easy bait to run for the most part. I think to get it to run the way that you really want it to, yeah, you got to have a little bit of knowing, messing around with it and whatever, but for the most part, this lure is going to run pretty much everywhere in your spread, whether you want to run it. I probably wouldn't run it on the short corner, or if you're going to run on the short corner, I wouldn't run it too high, because you kind of want it to get down and get down and dive deep. You'll notice while it's running, it'll when it hits and then breathes, it likes to go down pretty deep. It's going down there quite a ways. So if you have a short leash on it, saying that you're running it on, like, say, the short corner, and you got a really, really high angle on it, you're going to be kind of basically hindering some of the action of the lure, I guess you could say. Funnily enough, I actually ran it on the stinger, and this is the one that I caught all the fish in Kona on. I just had a blue and pink skirt over just blue newels. I like to do my skirts that way. It's just how I like to do it. I think it's an easier transition through the mouth. I like vinyl, but I'm not a huge vinyl fan. I sometimes rather prefer the rubber, just a little more durable. Anyways, and this is what I was running on my stinger. So, not a normal stinger bait for most people, but basically what happened was, when I got the bait, I just want to kind of give it a run and let Eric know how it ran. My other positions in the spread were already taken up. I didn't really want to move anything out of the spread. So I thought, hey, we'll just put on the stinger and we'll see how it goes. My initial thought was to run it on the short rigger or maybe even the long rigger. But we put it out there on the stinger, and like immediately it just got piled on. Actually, the first bite was an ahi. That's how I had a feeling, okay, this thing is gonna get some bites, because you have an ahi coming up and eating a big lure like this, it's definitely doing what it's supposed to be doing. So, we had an ahi come up and completely explode on it and miss it. And then from that point on, we got a lot of Blue Marlin bites on it. So I ran it, in the stinger, and I never really switched it out. Kind of funny, like I said, to run in the stinger, but it worked for me. Kind of a contrast to having my bullet on one side and then this kind of way out the back, and it's getting down deep, and it's kind of a real easy swimmer. When I was in Cabo, I ran this on the long rigger and also on the short rigger. I switched them up a little bit here and there. Most of the bites were when it was running in that long rigger position. Like I said, you just probably want it to have a little bit of not too much of a short leash, meaning that you're not driving it too much in one direction or not. And because it's a flat head, you're basically going to be running your hook up instead of down and tilted to try and make it swim out of the wake or something like that. So, so it will kind of just do what it wants to do. The lure is basically what it's going to do is it's going to come up and it's going to do a giant pop, and it's going to come down and do a real nice easy swim with breathing underneath it, and then every once in a while it'll come up and do almost like a skitter, kind of like a little skitter on the surface and then a pop, similar to like, you know, some flathead type lures. I like that action. You know, it almost is like a bullet action, like almost like a real aggressive dish rag almost into a pop, and then it'll go down and breathe. I think it works really well on fish, and I think this is a lure that's going to probably be able to be run down in almost every fishery. I think you could pull this on the Atlantic. I think you could pull this, you know, anywhere in the Pacific. I think you could pull this for small fish. I think it can make a great teaser. I think it's a very versatile lure. I run it with a single hook far back in the skirt, and yeah, rough water, calm water. You can get it weighted and unweighted. Bunch of options. This is the Sundowner, and if you don't have one, go pick one up and give it a run. Phenomenal bait. I attest to it. Caught some big ones, and I'm sure I'll probably catch some big ones on it again this season. So go check them out. Aloha Lures Sundowner.